Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is Dominions 4, Sunday, Bloody Sunday. And now, before we end the turn, I'd like to cover a few things. I just want to say thanks to everybody out there. You guys are fantastic. I asked for 50 likes on the new video, and I went to bed, went to work, and less than 24 hours later, I'm damn near 50. I'm at 47. So thank you guys so much. That's amazing. I really appreciate that. The next thing I want to do is I want to say, with regards to the research, nobody needs to worry about anything. So it turns out what happened was I filmed the first video twice, because the first time I did it, I made some mistakes and I just wasn't happy with it. So I went ahead and I filmed it again. And the interesting thing is, both times I created a new game. And one of them we started in the middle of a field, and one of them we started in the forest here where we are. So I stuck with this one because I thought, hey, a forest, that's pretty thematic, right? This is Black Forest Ulm. And it turns out that this game was actually based on the first episode that I deleted, the one that you're not watching. So even though everything else was the same, the parameters were all the same, the enemy nations were all the same, everything was the same, in that one I correctly set it to easy research. So luckily for us, no problem. Now finally, before I get started, I also want to quickly address a comment by a gentleman named Gustav in my forums, mentioning how he was a little disappointed about the roleplay aspect of this Let's Play. Role-playing in the sense of telling a story and bringing life to these characters and what's going on, above and beyond just playing the game, is kind of a staple of mine. It's what differentiates me from other people who do this. It's kind of my thing. I enjoy it, and a lot of my viewers enjoy it. That being said, I don't overdo it. If you want to take a look at my other Let's Plays, the Ursula Let's Play and the Bakemono Let's Play, you'll notice that while I definitely do a little bit of characterization and role-playing, it doesn't overpower the gameplay. Like, I'm not going crazy with it. So I hope that what I'm doing is kind of the best of both worlds, where I give a little bit of interest and character to the story, but at the same time I play the game and show you how it's done and provide hopefully insightful and entertaining commentary. So I hope that's satisfactory, and that's basically what I intend to do moving forward. Before in the turn, let's introduce everybody to Colonial. He requested specifically to be a mage, and that is what he got, since a lot of other people want to be commanders or frontline fighters, and we're just not in a position right now to recruit a ton of those. If I did not comment on your request for a name, do not worry. I just checked everything. You're all on the list. Everybody's in. That includes everybody. So the thing is, it was just getting a little silly. I was responding to everybody saying, "Yep, you're in. Yep, your name's in," and it's just people read that and it's like, whoa, you know, there's so many comments. So just know that if you put your name in there, I've got it, and you're going to be in at some point. So thank you very much for participating, and don't worry about that. Okay, we cast our vampire spell, Dark Knowledge. Another sight. Nice. Arcane Probing, nothing. Colonial has 8 blood slaves. Might Marsh. Okay. This should go pretty well for us. Yeah, I think this should go pretty well for us. Although, why did my melee troops get moved over to the sides? I do not like that. I also don't like that the game is lagging. Yes, I have a lot of rangers, but it's not like they're 3D rendered or anything. Alright. Well, that was quite exciting. I really enjoyed that. Okie dokie. So, we have a vampire count. Let's look at our new friend here. By the way, you're not going to be Albrecht. You are going to be Undying J. I really like that name. It works. It fits. He's undying. So there you go. You get to be the first vampire count. There'll be many more to come. 2 death, 2 blood. They all have the same. They regenerate. They are slash resistant, blunt resistant, and invulnerable to 25, which if you'll remember what that means to mundane weapons, non-magical weapons, they pretend like they have a protection of 25. Against magical weapons, they have a protection of 0. So that's something that you want to consider if you're going to be using one of these guys as a thug. He is susceptible to fire, so throwing on a barkskin amulet is probably not the best thing to do, because then he'll become even more susceptible to fire. He is cold resistant, which is great because Ulm is a cold place, and he's poison resistant. He is undead, but he is not mindless, so that's something to consider. He does not need to eat, and he is immortal, which for those of you who don't know, that means that if he is to die inside my dominion, he will be resurrected at the capital, assuming the capital is still held by me. If not, he will die. He flies, and he's stealthy, but he cannot pass rivers, even when ordinary units can. I don't see what the problem would be on a frozen river, but that's just the rules. So the kind of flavor text is, during the malediction, evil was let loose in the kingdom. The hunger that the evil aroused resulted in cannibalism and practices even worse. Now, if you'll recall, Katerina's family stayed away from that. They maintained their honor. Some of the warring nobles succumbed and became vampires who thirsted for human blood. Since then, most of them have disappeared or fallen into perpetual sleep, but if enough blood is sacrificed, they might well awaken and serve the dark god of Ulm. Vampire counts can dominate human peasants who become nearly mindless and serve their master as obediently as dogs. That is another great thing about these guys. They summon their own chaff, these peasants who are thralls. Like our wolf shepherd guys too. The benefit of that is, while these guys are blood hunting, their thralls can patrol. So they kind of work together as a blood hunting package. I'll look at some of the more appropriate ways to thug these guys out when I get a chance. But for right now, Undying Jay is just going to blood hunt. And it looks like he already has... Where are you, Undying Jay? He already has some thralls. 3 already. Look at that. And of course they're ridiculous, but that's not the point. You know, they're not supposed to be strong. They're supposed to be free. Okay, so this looks like a good a good province to blood hunt in. So we are going to do that with Undying Jay. Meanwhile, Katerina von Ulm, can you forge a sanguine dousing rod? No, it must be a level 4 magical item. Well then, what can we do with you? We're just going to research with you. Chris Lighthawk makes a very good point where he says that Katerina should be out sight searching, and she would be very effective at sight searching for death and blood and astral. However, I have death and astral taken care of with my sight searching spells. There aren't really that many blood sights. In fact, the good ones you find automatically, like my wherever it is, slave market. So, and she'd be poor, well not poor, but she'd be not perfect at water. She'd catch about 75% of the sights, and for air and fire she'd catch about 50%. And that's okay, but that's not what I want really. And her research right now is pretty powerful, so I want to keep her doing that. Okay, so Undying Jay is moving here to blood hunt. These two fellows are going to attack here. And let me just double check that they're set up for the right thing. They are. Wonderful. And Midgard is down here. These two provinces look pretty juicy and they're right next to a throne, but I'm going to keep Midgard happy for the short run. And Lighthawk and Gunduric are going to just take more of our border provinces here. Province defense up to 15, since we're not currently bordering an enemy. And he is still building a citadel. Faratha is here. You know what? You could just go ahead and research. We have our lab. So that means more research mages here. And you can see how we are really ramping it up now. I mean, at the beginning, like the immediate beginning, we were behind in research. But now I believe if you were to look at the graphs, we would be really near the top. So there we are. We got all that going on. Winter Peaks is a good blood hunting province as well. I just need to see what's going on with Pangea here before I commit to it. We don't have quite enough blood slaves yet to summon another vampire count. That's perfectly okay. Roderick, I want you to summon allies. And I'm going to stick with 3 of these guys for right now. Another thing Chris mentioned is you want to get a ton of black priests, and I could not agree more. However, they can be recruited anywhere. I mean, meaning anywhere you have a fort. So as soon as my second fort is up, I'll be recruiting these guys non-stop there. But for right now, we are going to recruit these guys because this is the only place we can recruit them. So, or not, sorry, not these 2, but these 4, among these 4. So the fortune tellers aren't quite as necessary anymore. I'm going to recruit my first Hookmeister. And I'm going to go back to Rangers as well. Or, well, I forget already, actually, what I have and what I don't. How about we just stick with this on repeat for right now? That's a little bit of both. Best of both worlds. Okay. And I believe that is it. We're going to be where we want to be in construction next turn, hopefully, and then things open up, and I'm not sure what I want to do. I can go straight into blood and get down here, which is great and all. It's just that we need blood slaves, and we're going to get a few more vampires before we even think of getting some of this. But you'll notice that I specifically tailored Katarina to be able to do some certain things, like, for example, Archdevils with her fire. She can forge a Skull of Fire with her Death and Fire, which will give her Fire 2, and then she'll be able to bind Archdevils. She can... Where are you? Ah, here we go. Ice Devil. So she has 2 water. With a water booster, she'll have 3. Both of these are limited edition guys, meaning they're not just in forever. You can't get like 5 or 6 or 10 of them. There's specific ones, and they have specific paths, and they're very cool. And then finally you have Demon Lords way down here, but she's going to have to empower herself quite a bit before she can cast that. Another thing, too, is that Colonial, the reason I chose to name him instead of anybody else is because he has a cool combination of blood and astral. Remember, he got that extra blood, and so there's a lot of cool blood and astral spells, a lot of horror spells. You can call lesser horrors, you could send lesser horrors, you can call regular horrors, you can call or send horrors, you can send dream horrors. There's a whole lot of stuff that you can do with astral and blood. So there we go. Alright, so she's researching, Oberic is defending, that's just fine. Alright, let's end the turn. Alright, we're there in construction. 1 new site. No new sites. No new sites. Pretty soon we're going to run out of sites to death search, but Arcane's 7 more slaves, good. Let's see what Pangea is bringing to the table here. Now this army should be more thematic since I have that mod, and it is. It's Dryad Hoplites, so that's a woman, if you can believe it or not. And they have Awe, which is... Well, as you saw it with Ursula, Awe is a pretty hardcore thing. Your troops have to pass a morale check just to be able to hit them. They recuperate, and they can stand in formation. So this is a pretty solid unit, led by a Cataphract commander. Looks like a Centaur, also recuperates. And a number of Centaur Cataphracts led by another, or led by a random heavy cavalry, which he should not be recruiting. Oh well. Nothing's perfect, I suppose. And you can already see the Awe. You can see it taking effect, but it didn't matter. They are running. Now, this mod is supposed to make the enemies stronger, but I hope it's not contributing to the fact that everybody's doing so poorly. Alright, this is my expansion army. Let's see how they're doing. They look pretty solid. I would name these 2 guys up here, but nobody seems to be in a hurry to be a generic random commander or mounted commander. So they are going to be remain unnamed. No problem there. Did we lose anything? We lost an infantry. All right. Now these guys, I mean, this is the ranger army to end all ranger armies. They shouldn't lose anything. Even the heavy cav shouldn't even be able to make it to them in time. One down already, and they're already running. That's how I like to see it. Okay. Lighthawk is down here. You can see him right there with his little sword. The light infantry should not stand many more of those barrages. Well, okay. Good for them. And once again, we lost nothing with this group. Venna, our lab has been destroyed. Excellent. We need to go to that. Oh boy. Alright, Undying J. You are going to blood hunt. You guys just sitting around doing nothing, so you're going to build a lab. And since we can't build a mage, we'll build a commander to lead the thralls and patrol. No enemies yet, so 15 here. And I don't see any reason why, well, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't take this. But this might be a little bit more strategically important. But it'll take him a few turns to get there. Let's just see what we got here. Shouldn't be too hard. Archers, militias, heavy infantries. Tancred, the priest, is going to build another temple down here. You are all researching. That is good. Let's get another one of you to do that. And you all researching, which is also good. Padro's patrolling. Although it doesn't appear that he's patrolling enough. Colonials continuing to blood hunt. We're at 31. Could be doing better. Gontran. I haven't decided who I'm going to name him yet. I'll do that between videos, since he's not going to be really doing anything for the moment. Well, you know what? There's something he could do. He could build a temple up here. Okay, how are we looking on troops? Oberic, 34 of 60. Alright, I'm going to stuff him full of these guys, and I'll get another guy to come and take the rangers. And eventually I will, once more forts go up, I'll have more ranger captains and all that. I just need more forts. Alright, Pangea is already here. So while I would like this province, and I could take it even with heavy cav, I'm going to be prudent, and I'm going to move up and take this province since it's really close to my capital and the throne. So that's the smarter move. Not that I'm always smart, but okay, Crystal Garden. Let's quickly take a look at what we found here. We have an impossible angle, we've seen that. Enchanted Gate, we've seen that. Crystal Garden, we've seen that. Battlefield is 1 death gem, I believe, yes. Crypt in the Sand, 1 earth and 1 death. So now we start getting some earth income, that's perfect. 2 astral. Oh, this is our capital, yeah, sure. We have the slave market already. And the 8 silver mine. Okay, so we've got some cool sites, but we could get more. So one thing I want to do, actually, I've changed my mind here, is Olga and Uriella are 1 nature away from being able to do the nature site searching. So I'm going to have her forge a thistle mace, which will then allow one of them to cast Haruspex and start searching my lands for nature. So again, Katarina's purpose in life is to support my guys in the early game, and then I'm going to empower her heavily with blood in the late game to start summoning all manner of unpleasant creatures. Okay. And I don't think I... Did I just skip the recruiting somebody in my capital? Yes, I think I did. That was dumb. But I got troops anyway. Another death site. Undying J. So far you have proven to be not quite adept at blood hunting, but that's okay. You still have chances. Gnome Peak should fall relatively easily. Got some more heavy cav. We'll just breeze through this one. These guys aren't running yet. Hit them. There we go. Well, Now they're running. You know, I was thinking it might be more useful to have them set as shoot at the archers so they can take out those unprotected horse brothers or whatnot, but I think it's best to have the heavy cav taken out. Oh, now we get to see Agartha. And we get to see Agartha versus us because we both attack the same province. Okay. So, we have Agarthan crossbowmen. Pretty typical unit. Pretty crappy precision. We have Agarthan light crossbowmen. Okay. So, like this unit, only even crappier. A Chthonian necromancer who looks pretty awesome. 3 earth. So these guys have the magic that my guys lack. 3 earth. That's nice. I mean, just one guy by himself without any kind of boosters, and he can cast some of the better spells. He has valor. All right, this guy's a beast. All right, this guy's pretty tough. A cave drake and cave knights, but they're pretty beat up. They're awesome units, but pretty beat up. And then in the middle here we have a blind fighter who is sacred and is blind. But that's actually a good thing in this world because it means it doesn't use his eyes to orient itself, and it's not affected by eye loss, blindness, or darkness. So if you're born blind, I guess it's cool. If you become that way, then you're in trouble. And already he's casting really awesome earth spells to make these guys super strong. So I'm not liking the look of that guy one bit. What are you banishing? Oh, I see there's some undead. Soulless. Okay. So now, let us see how my troops fare against these guys. This is not Lighthawk's army. This is my rando army. I mean, take the mage out of the equation and we have this, but the mage is in the equation. And someone's animating skeletons, which, so remember, they won't rout. So this is, oh, and one thing that's worth noting is that skeletons are resistant to, well, I guess long dead are not, but somebody is resistant to arrows. Who that might be, I couldn't tell you. Okay, this is... I think we've got this. They're already mostly right. We just took out their mage. Beautiful. Beautiful. That big heavy hitter, we nailed him good. 9 infantry, 1 ranger. And I think now that means that we need to halt our western advance for the moment. This looks pretty good, but I'm going to give it to them. Not the best province defense, but it's not bad. And you boys are going to come back here. Alright, we have our lab back, so all of you people can go back to researching. And Falco can take over patrolling. Oh yes, 5 thralls. That is going to really bring down the unrest. Tancred. Let's build that temple. We're going to need that even more to push our dominion against our enemies. Okay. You know, I see no reason to initiate hostilities before I have to. Pangea looks kind of lost anyway. I think we can lower our southern defensive line a little bit. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Of course, more research. Because why not, right? And you, Nio, are going down here, and you are going to build a temple. Alright, we still have plenty of money. Olga, you are getting the Thistle Mace, and that's it for right now, though, because we need to switch, which we didn't do last turn, and we should have. We need to switch to Thaumaturgy to get the remainder of our site-searching spells. Katerina. Our nature income is not that good, so I'm not going to have you make another Thistle Mace just yet. But what can you do in terms of astral? Lucky Coin's a good shield. Crown of Command is a good crown. Robe of Shadows is a good robe. You see a pattern here? Armor of Twisting Thorns. It's nice. It gives you a nature and a blood magic bonus, but I'm not going to create it for Katerina because it is cursed. Once you put it on, you can never take it off, and I don't like that. Nice boots. Alright, so as you can see, Katerina has quite a bit of potential as a forger. The Heart of Life. Ooh. Oh, and here's our sanguine dousing rods. I guess I missed it the first time somehow. So she's going to make that, actually, so that our blood hunters are more effective at hunting blood. In fact, Undying J, could you create one? Yes. Alright, so we're going to have 2 of those next turn. Nope. There we go. And... Another one of these guys for right now. We're almost here with this castle. I'm not even sure if we're going to need to do communions. It looks like with just our black priests and our troops, we're doing pretty well. But then again, we haven't really clashed with any of our enemies yet. So I could just be whistling Dixie. Okay. Let's move our borders up to 25 slowly. In most situations, it's kind of wasteful, but I have the money. And that's even with me buying tons of province defense. Or, sorry, temples, labs, the usual. You can stay at... Well, okay, why not? We'll boost you up. Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. As opposed to the first 3 episodes, not a whole lot happened here, but we're still laying the groundwork. We have our first count. We will have many more, especially once we get those sanguine dowsing rods. We're going to start haraspexing, so we're going to get some nature gems. And we've encountered all 3 of our enemies. They all border us from one direction or another. So things stand to get very interesting in the near future. So thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think. And Chris Lighthawk, keep giving your suggestions, especially with regards to communions, because I could use some help on that particular matter. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.